They told you Google has everything. That's a lie. What you see is less than 5% of the internet. The real web hides in the shadows. Private data, secret files, and anonymous identities. There's a world beneath the one you know, and it's bigger, darker, and more dangerous than you think. We call it surface web, deep web, and dark web. Each layer is like a level in a game, but this one isn't safe. Are you ready to go deeper? Let's peel back the digital curtain. Welcome to the internet's hidden layers. The surface web is what you use every day. It's public, searchable, safe, but that's just the top of the iceberg. Google, YouTube, Wikipedia, that's the surface web. Only 4 to 5% of total internet data lives here. It's everything indexed by search engines, but below this layer, the deep web. A world locked behind passwords and permissions, not illegal. Just hidden, your email inbox, deep web, your bank account login, deep web, corporate servers, research data, private messages, billions of pages not visible to Google on purpose. Then comes the dark web, unlisted, encrypted, anonymous. You need a special browser just to access it for I2P, Freenet. And what you'll find, that's where things get real. Black markets, leaked data, banned content. There are also journalists, whistleblowers, activists hiding from surveillance. The dark web is not evil by default, but it's where evil can thrive. Because it's untraceable, and that's what makes it both powerful and terrifying. You think you know the internet? You don't, but by the end of this series, you will. You use it every day, but never question it. The surface web is your window to the digital world, but it's only a tiny fraction of the internet. Think of it as a public library. Open to all, easy to browse. Search engines crawl and index these pages. So when you Google something, that's what you're seeing. News sites, blogs, social media, anything ending in com, net, org. That's the surface web. But only if it's publicly accessible. Once a site asks you to log in, you've left the surface. Search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, they're gatekeepers. They index only the surface. Why? Because the rest is either private or forbidden. The surface web includes millions of websites. But that's just 4% of the internet's total content. 4%. So what's the other 96%? The surface web is just the beginning. It's like the visible tip of an enormous iceberg. Above water, it seems calm, familiar. Below, complex, hidden, dark. The surface web is where ads find you. It's where your data is tracked. Every click, every like, every search, it feels free. But it's not. You pay with information, you are the product. That's the price of convenience. And yet, it's considered the safe part of the web. No encryption barriers, no hidden servers, it's where most people stay. But the internet goes much deeper. And down there, it's not so friendly. Behind passwords and logins lies the deep web, and beneath that, the dark web waits. But before we go further, ask yourself, how much of your life is online? Your photos, messages, banking, identity. Now imagine all of that living in a layer you can't see. That's where we're going next. The surface web may look harmless, but it's just the front door to a digital universe. You've walked through that door 1,000 times, but never turned the handle on what lies beneath. Are you ready to step deeper? Because the deep web doesn't care who you are, only what you're hiding. The deep web. What you're not supposed to see, the deep web is massive. Over 90% of the internet lives here. But it's not illegal, it's just hidden. Behind every login, every password, every secure database, that's the deep web. You've been there. Every time you open your email, every time you check your bank account, every time you access your cloud storage. None of these things are searchable on Google, and that's by design. The deep web protects sensitive data. Medical records, school files, business intranets, government databases, all stored privately. This isn't the criminal side of the internet. It's the practical side. Hospitals store patient data in the deep web. Universities hold research archives there. Corporations lock away confidential projects in hidden portals, all for one reason: privacy. Search engines don't index deep web content because they're not allowed to. The pages are intentionally blocked using no index tags or login barriers. You need credentials to access them, no password, no access. That's what separates the surface from the deep. The surface is searchable. The deep is secure. But don't confuse deep with dark. The deep web doesn't sell illegal goods, it protects information. But it also creates shadows, and sometimes dangerous things can hide in shadows. Cybercriminals know this. They exploit systems that live in the deep web, they target financial networks, they search for security flaws in databases. Because if they get in, they get everything. That's why cybersecurity exists. It's a war fought daily in the deep web, and most people have no idea it's happening. Right beneath their fingertips, the deep web isn't evil. But it's not harmless either, it's powerful. And like all power, it depends on who's holding it. Next, we descend further, beyond privacy, beyond protection, into the world that lives off the grid entirely, the dark web, a digital underworld where anonymity is absolute and consequences vanish. Enter the dark web. Behind the veil of anonymity, the dark web isn't just hidden, it's invisible. You can't stumble into it by accident, it's designed that way. To access it, you need a special browser, like Tor. The Tor network routes your traffic through multiple servers worldwide. Every trace of your identity, masked. You don't just go to darkweb.com. Websites here don't use .com at all. They end in onion. Encrypted addresses only accessible through Tor. They don't show up on Google. They don't advertise. They live in complete secrecy. Why? Because many of them aren't legal. On the dark web, you'll find marketplaces selling drugs, weapons, fake passports, stolen credit cards, hitmen for hire. Allegedly, though many are scams, but it's not all crime. The dark web is also a sanctuary, a place where journalists in authoritarian countries can report freely, where whistleblowers leak documents without fear, where activists connect without being tracked. Anonymity isn't always dangerous. Sometimes it's the only protection people have. That's the paradox of the dark web. It gives power to the oppressed, and to the predators, it creates freedom and chaos, because no one knows who anyone is. There are forums discussing everything from cyber ethics to malware design. There are archives of banned books, even email services that don't log your identity. But the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. Not everything there is illegal, but much of it is disturbing. Human experimentation threads. Red rooms, rumored live torture streams, though evidence is murky. Conspiracy hubs claiming to hold secrets governments have buried. You can never fully know what's real and what's staged. Because in the dark web, the line between reality and illusion is blurred. Trust is rare, scams are everywhere. Curiosity becomes currency, and sometimes the price is your safety. Authorities monitor the dark web constantly. FBI, Interpol, cybersecurity firms, all lurking, watching, trying to catch criminals who hide behind onion layers, and sometimes they do. Major darknet markets like Silk Road and Alphabet have been shut down, but others rise in their place. It's a never-ending game of digital cat and mouse. The dark web can't be erased. Because it isn't a website, it's a network, a protocol, a philosophy of total anonymity, and that's both its greatest strength and its greatest danger. Surface versus deep versus dark. What's the real difference? Let's make one thing clear. These three layers are not the same. They serve different purposes, they work in different ways, and they carry different levels of risk. Let's start with the surface web. You already live here. It's open, indexed, and searchable. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Wikipedia, they all live on the surface web. Anyone with a browser and internet connection can access them. They're monitored, moderated, tracked. You're never truly anonymous on the surface web. Ads follow you, cookies track you. Your data is collected, it's convenient, but it's not private. Now let's talk about the deep web. This is where the internet goes private. You can't find these pages through search engines. They're hidden behind logins, paywalls, or encryption. Your Gmail account, that's deep web, your online banking dashboard. Also deep web, corporate intranets, medical record systems. Academic libraries, all deep web. It's not illegal, it's not criminal. It's just not public. You need permission to be there. Then comes the dark web. You can't get there with Chrome or Safari. You need the Tor browser or similar tools. It's not protected by logins, it's protected by secrecy. No one knows who you are there, and that's the point. The surface web is like a public park, the deep web is like a locked office building, and the dark web, that's a hidden tunnel system underground. Each layer has its uses. Each layer has its dangers. Surface web is fast and easy, but offers little privacy. Deep web is secure, but not anonymous. Dark web is anonymous, but often unsafe. The dark web's power is in its untraceability. But with that power comes chaos, illegal markets, dangerous communities, shocking content. It's the internet without rules, but also the last refuge for those who have nowhere else to speak. When you compare the three, it's not about good versus bad. It's about visibility versus invisibility. The surface web is for everyone. The deep web is for authorized users. The dark web is for those who want or need to disappear. And sometimes that includes people who are trying to do good. It's complicated. It's layered, and it's more real than most people realize. How to access each layer safely. Accessing each layer of the web requires different tools and different levels of caution. Let's start with the surface web. Easy. Just open your browser. Type in a search on Google. Click a link. Done. No special tools, no special knowledge. But remember, it's the least private space online. Now the deep web. This isn't about hacking. It's about permissions. If a website asks you to log in, it's part of the deep web. Gmail, Netflix, banking apps, all deep web. You're using encrypted HTTPS connections. That protects your data while in transit. It's secure, but not anonymous. Your name, email, and activity are still traceable. Now let's talk about accessing the dark web. First, never try this without understanding the risks. You'll need the Tor browser. It's free, open source, and routes your traffic through multiple layers of encryption. It hides your IP address. It anonymizes your location. Install it, open it, and then enter an Onion address. But here's the twist. You can't Google .onion sites. You need directories like the Hidden Wiki or Amia. Even then, many links are dead, fake, or traps. So what are the risks? 1. Malware. Click the wrong link, and you could infect your system. 2. Scams. Many dark websites are frauds, designed to steal crypto or personal info. 3. Surveillance. Authorities monitor Tor nodes. Just visiting the dark web can raise flags. 4. Mental health. Some content is disturbing, even traumatic. You can't unsee what you see. If you're curious, stick to verified directories. And never download files, click random links, or enter personal data. Use a VPN for an extra layer of protection. Even with Tor, close all other apps. Disable JavaScript. Cover your webcam. Never use your real name, email, or identity. Create a separate crypto wallet if you're just observing markets. And don't try to buy anything, ever. Most marketplaces are scams, and even if they're not, it's illegal. Accessing the dark web isn't a crime in most countries. But what you do there can be. So if you explore, do it for education. Nothing more. Read, observe, learn, but know when to stop, because one wrong click could ruin your life. This is not a game. This is the deepest layer of the internet, and you're walking in total darkness. Shocking stories from the dark web. The dark web is full of legends, but some of them are disturbingly real. Let's begin with the most famous, Silk Road, an online black market where you could buy drugs, fake IDs, and more, all paid in Bitcoin, run by a man known as Dread Pirate Roberts. But in 2013, the FBI shut it down and arrested Ross Ulbricht. They found millions of dollars in Bitcoin on his laptop. Silk Road was just the beginning. After it collapsed, others rose in its place. Alphabet, Hansa Market, Dream Market. Each darker than the last. Law enforcement infiltrated some. Others vanished overnight. But not before users bought stolen data, credit cards, and dangerous chemicals. And then, the Red Rooms. Are they real? Rumors say they're live streams of torture for paying viewers, but no confirmed case has ever been proven. Still, forums claim to host these rooms. Even if they're fake, the fear they create is real. Then there's the case of Welcome to Video, a dark website hosting horrifying illegal content involving children. It was taken down in a global sting involving 38 countries. Over 300 people were arrested. One of them was a US government employee. Even more disturbing? Some users were found to be minors themselves. The dark web doesn't just hide crime, it hides pain. Whistleblowers have used the dark web to leak critical info. Edward Snowden's documents, Panama Papers. Tools like SecureDrop allow journalists to get stories from inside governments and corporations. But for every truth teller, there's a predator waiting in the dark. Hitman for hire services, most are scams. But some have led to real-life investigations. In one case, a woman paid $12,000 in Bitcoin to have her ex-husband killed. She was caught when the site owner turned out to be an FBI honeypot. Dark web forums even host assassination betting games. People gamble on the deaths of celebrities or politicians. It's not just crime, it's cruelty. And yet, the dark web survives. No matter how many sites are shut down, new ones rise. Because it's not one website, it's a network. A constantly shifting maze of mirrors, decoys, and lies. Some go there seeking justice. Others go for revenge, but many go just out of curiosity. And some of them never come back the same. What's scarier than what you find? Is what you bring back with you? The truth about the internet's hidden layers, the internet is not one place. It's three very different worlds stacked on top of each other. The surface web is what you see. The deep web is what you use without knowing, and the dark web is what most people should never touch. Each has a purpose. Each has a price. The surface web is fast, easy, and familiar, but your data is exposed. Your actions are tracked. The deep web offers security, but no anonymity. It's where your private life lives online. Emails, health records, financial info. Safe, but vulnerable if breached. Then comes the dark web, built for freedom, powered by anonymity, feared for what it hides. It's not just crime. It's journalism, whistleblowing, political resistance. It's censorship's worst enemy and law enforcement's nightmare. But it's also a hunting ground for hackers, traffickers, and predators, a place where ethics don't exist. And curiosity can become a curse. The deeper you go, the more invisible you become, but the risk grows with every step. So what's the lesson here? The internet is more than what meets the eye. It's layered, complicated, dangerous, useful, and it demands respect. Don't fear it, but don't underestimate it. Use it wisely, use it ethically. If you explore the deep web, know the rules. If you enter the dark web, know the risks. And never go in blind. The surface web is where most people live. The deep web is where your secrets sleep. The dark web is where your shadow walks. So next time someone says, just Google it. Remember, Google can't find everything, and some things should stay hidden. Because sometimes what you don't see is exactly what you're not ready for.